If you suddenly disappeared right now, what different actions have you performed in the last 24-48 hours that people would think is related to your disappearance? For the first time in all the years my wife has known me, I joined and worked out at a gym today. I feel like she wouldn't be able to look past that lol. Maybe he was planning to change his appearance to skip town, leave me for someone. Lol. And he managed it with just one trip to the gym. Must have used flex tape for results that fast. I filled my car with gas and completely shaved my head on a whim. Investigators believe the victim had been planning to run away and disguise themselves, but it seems the killer got to them before they could flee. Does this mean the victim had prior reason to fear for their life? And if so, why didn't get help? Wrote a giant G on my hand. Might have seemed unusual, but I just really didn't want to forget to get groceries. The body was found with a giant letter G written in marker on the left hand. Was it the victim's attempt to reveal the name of the killer? Could it have been a calling card from the murderer himself? Didn't call my mom yesterday, or the day before, or any day in the past 6 months. Do it. Skipped classes for the first time today and forgot to call my mom. And yet the autopsy suggested the body had only been dead a couple of hours. Was the victim held somewhere for all that time? Well, this is a tough one. I work as a real estate photographer where I go to remote homes in the mountains. And did some labor work on the site yesterday where I was seen digging holes in the ground. Before that I went kayaking in a sparsely populated region of Kentucky. Yeah, I'd never be found. He knew he was going to die and was made to dig his own grave. Lol. My son caught me hiding a manila envelope behind some games in his bedroom. A big thick envelope folded over and taped shut. In retrospect it looked shady, but it was actually full of seeds that I was temporarily hiding from my husband because I was supposed to stop buying gardening supplies but didn't. Exactly. Edit. Thanks for the silver, kind stranger. This is pretty wholesome. But what kind of seeds are you buying if in the northern hemisphere during autumn? Makes sense if south. Started talking to a new person who's living in the other side of the country and the name is not saved but just in initials. Everyone would be left guessing. I do the same thing every day. Work. Eat. Fail at trying to entertain myself. Sleep. Repeat. My life is a boring, repetitive joke. Made a post on social media about being stalked by coyotes. They must have broken in and kidnapped me. I don't know. Coyotes are notoriously bad at executing complicated plans. The plans tend to blow up in their face. Just went on a Tinder date with a guy I've never met before. Well, if he was a nice guy, then he was either Ted Bundy II or screwed because everyone is going to think he is Ted Bundy II. Had a video game session after school. They'd probably think I got consumed in the game or something. Wouldn't be too bad considering I played The Witcher. Caught a stink bug and set it free outside the kitchen door. That's when the stink bug reported back to all of his stinky friends that he'd met a nice human who would let them all in and out of the house all they'd like, so he and the host of his brethren decided to move in. I'm on day 3 of a 6-day stint working 16-hour shifts on various rock concerts. I don't think it would have a bearing on why people thought I disappeared. But it sure as hell would be noticed quick. I'm on house lights and the show ends in about 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure I hallucinated it since he's in a different part of the country, but today I thought I saw the guy who sexually assaulted me 5-ish years ago. I told my partner about it. Given I'm on medically ordered rest and I haven't left the house since my doctor appointment on Tuesday, I'm guessing that if I disappeared, well, it'd be an absolute mystery. Total locked room mystery. Aliens maybe. Either that or they would have figured I disintegrated into my computer chair from sitting it in all day listlessly crafting in a game. So I actually kind of have a story about this. I was going to a zombie themed party one weekend and a bunch of us all squeezed in my friend's SUV to get there. I posted a photo as a joke. Warning. Bad joke ahead. Something about being dead in the back of a trunk. And tagged my recent ex. Not a funny joke, I know. I'm an idiot. Later that weekend, in a random act of violence, I was carjacked, kidnapped and assaulted by 3 complete strangers. They were caught and it ended up being a crime of opportunity with zero connection to me, anyone in my life whatsoever. But guess who was the first suspect thanks to my stupid post? Oh man. I still feel so bad about that one. Think before you post stupid things. My friends. I wrangled my cat into his carrier for a trip to the vet. I swear my cat whispered, "You'll pay for this." I went for a several miles walk in the city late at night last night while on the phone with a friend who knew I was doing so. Did someone see her walking and follow her home, alone? I spent the weekend with my situationship FWB whom I regularly sleep with. I had also spent the previous weekend staying in the city in a hotel with him, where many people and cameras probably saw us together. Did he get jealous or angry and he hill her? I also called a few attorneys about suing over some botched dental work after informing the office that I had evidence against them. Did the dentist hill her to keep her from suing and ruining his practice? Huge feud with friends. Expressing feelings of depression, suicide, and anxiety. So not too much of a shocker if I disappeared. People know I was applying for a car loan through my bank. I was super excited about the car I'd found. It's the exact car I was looking for, and just knew I'd be approved to get it and all would work out. I have a large sum of money saved up in my account. And I work 2 jobs almost every day for almost a year. I got denied last night. Obviously I wasn't very happy about it. Lol. I've complained all day about it being too hot in this godforsaken place while also saying I don't want to work and complaining I haven't taken a vacation of some kind in over a year. I have mentioned a few times that I may just up and leave one day, so there is that too. I had a mental breakdown last night. I kinda just crashed. The group chat knew. They would probably think I held myself or something. I'm a supervisor of a small mobile security team in downtown Denver. Started training a newbie yesterday and had MFM podcast playing the whole time. Decided to go ahead and end the night an hour early without changing the paper timesheet. I've also commented to other team members about how I have been getting strange vibes being around this person. Smoked multiple cigarettes back to back past 2 days after quitting years ago. Me and my wife get chic father-in-law a lot and she's used to me eating all my fries before we get home. But yesterday I felt nauseous and didn't. This was so concerning for her, she asked me if something was wrong. I could see her telling police something wasn't right. My car was being fixed in the next town over. This is the mundane explanation for why I wandered into a strange town on foot and spent about 2 hours milling around aimlessly. A good chunk of this 2 hours was spent sat in a public library reading a book about Conan Doyle and a famous miscarriage of justice. I then bought a train ticket and left. On paper, this looks sketchy as hell given my disappearance. Messaged a dude from Craigslist my schedule and corresponding locations. I finished midterms. So they'd probably suspect I was out on a celebratory bender. But if they were to look for evidence of foul play, they'd have nothing. The only out of ordinary thing I've done this week is have fried chicken. 2 days in a row. Maybe they would take that as a sign of homesickness and think I went back to Texas. This came at a perfect time. I just texted my wife asking if I could work late, like really late. Like a 17-hour workday late, to help someone pack envelopes. People would assume I was kidnapped or murdered. Not a single person who knows me would believe that I left an uneaten pot of gumbo behind. My crush blocked me on WhatsApp yesterday. Only 2 friend of mine knows, but they will think that I suicided for sure. I just read the Wikipedia for Albert Fish BC of a question on this sub. So I guess if they had my phone, that would be weird. Also, don't read it. Holy duck. I went to a Mexican restaurant with a friend and he got me completely hammered on $1 tequila shots. I rarely drink to excess, let alone in public on a Tuesday. Honestly, I wish I could disappear from work this morning to sort out this headache. Me literally telling my mom yesterday if I didn't have my daughter I would have bought a cheap sailboat and disappeared a long time ago. I'm planning a trip with my horse this weekend, so I've packed several days supplies for me and him. People would absolutely assume I had a plan to go off grid.